All right, guys. So welcome back to another client interview today. We've got another client today who we're going to be interviewing. His name's Neetish. So Neetish, man, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you, Oliver?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So we've been working together for a while now. How long has it been so far?
It's been since January of this year. So if I'm correct, it's 9 months.
Wow, 9 months, man. Fantastic, fantastic. And for the guys, do you just want to give a brief overview of, I guess, yourself, what you do kind of day to day for work and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to give you background. So yeah, I'm Neetish. Nice to meet you guys. Neetish Sharma. Born and raised in Philly, New York. From the East Coast, came out to Stanford and studied computer science there. Had worked in a variety of different industries within technology, so mainly fintech as well as the blockchain space. I recently have started my own blockchain company called Axel. Basically, we focus on building developer infrastructure for blockchain developers. Right now, focusing on building intuitive search solutions for the blockchain. And so at the moment right now, again, like very high paced, very fast paced technology lifestyle. As a founder, it's hard to find time in the day to make sure you're prioritizing all aspects of your life, including your fitness. But that's why I'm working with Oliver to make sure that, I'm handling that. I'm taking care of business on that side, and the results have been phenomenal. So happy to talk more about it. And yeah, give me any more background color.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you definitely live that busy startup Silicon Valley lifestyle, right? Which
For
is on the
sure.
go.
Always with the customers and always making sure we're writing code. That's basically my day.
Exactly, man. So I know, like, before you came to me, there were a few kind of issues. So where would you say you were, like, previous to starting with me? Like, what were some of the challenges you were having, and what kind of position were you in health wise?
Sure, that's really helpful, and again, had to provide some color. So for me, when we initially started the company, obviously fundraising was a huge piece to make sure we had capital in the bank, as well as just the initial very hectic lifestyle of getting the company set up, everything from incorporation to hiring a team and getting the founders aligned at a mission that we all care about. So that process had done, a number on my health, not from a mental perspective, because I was handling that quite well, but more from a physical perspective. To be completely candid, during the fundraising process, which was probably the most hectic time of the company, I was not prioritizing my diet. My health was kind of falling out of whack, physically speaking. And again, I just was like basically gaining weight when I really didn't need to, because I didn't have, the time nor the skills to actually, learn how to, budget my own food properly, track my food, making sure I'm disciplined at the gym every day. And I want to have something that, both provided me an accountability mechanism. I generally am a pretty accountable person, so that wasn't that much of an issue. Accountability in the sense of making sure I'm hitting the gym properly and making sure I'm consistent, but more importantly on the nutrition side. Because again, like I know a lot of folks in fitness like to say, like as they say, the abs are made in the kitchen. The majority of the work is all done in the kitchen. And working out is really just only the kind of, sort of inciting incident, or the sort of catalyst that allows you to gain muscle and or lose fat. So for me, nutrition was the biggest piece. So I figured, like, if I'm not getting this done effectively with myself, and my professional lifestyle is focused on building a company, I could definitely use some help in terms of building my nutritional plan. And that's where I found Oliver. Candidly, I found him through Twitter. He was doing some really cool content, posted some really cool client testimonials like this one, and really wanted to kind of try out what it would be like to, number one, have that accountability. If I'm paying money for a program, or if I'm paying a trainer and I'm not following through on that, that's a huge waste of money. So that's kind of a pride thing for sure, as well as the fact that just having a professional who knows what he's doing to give me a great nutrition plan was the reason I came to Oliver. I got all of that and more when I started. So not only did I get obviously everything I needed from the nutrition plan fully specced out to exactly what food I need to buy and in what portions, but I also got a really phenomenal, a workout plan that I could follow very consistently, as well as just a friend and a mentor who could just keep me on track. I mean, again, I think that for me personally, I've been pretty accountable and pretty smooth throughout my journey. I've been sticking pretty disciplined to my plan, just because, again, in order for any of this to be possible, you can hire a trainer, you can, take whatever superfoods you'd like, but if you don't make fitness and your health a priority, none of these solutions will help. So again, I made it a priority, which was the driving force. But again, there were some weeks where I was busy with travel with customers, or I was trying to make sure, I was hunkered down writing code. And for me, those weeks where I may not have been necessarily on the ball and on my A game fitness wise, that was where Oliver came in to help. And just in those weekly check-ins we had, was able to keep me on track. And since then, just to give you some context, I'm around 5'10". I was clocking around 188 pounds at my highest when I was kind of a little chunkier. I wouldn't say I was chunky, but I would say I was definitely chunkier than I am now. Now I'm clocking at around 150 pounds, which has been a really great come down. And again, not an unhealthy way. I haven't been losing all that weight in a very short period, have been losing it consistently, sustainably, just because of good nutrition and great hydration, and of course, a solid workout plan. So happy to talk on any more of those points. But again, it's been a really great process. I've been feeling a lot leaner, much better mental clarity of thought throughout the day. I can make decisions a lot more crisply and really focus on my company. In fact, the biggest thing I'll say to finish this off is that when I actually prioritize my fitness over my business, that ended up actually making my business better. So prioritizing my health first and foremost was the most important thing for me, to not only be and feel better about myself and just be more fit, but more importantly, or just as importantly, actually, prioritize my business and the future of our company. So it's been a really great experience working with Oliver.
Appreciate that, man. And yeah, I think I've seen a big change in you, not just the physical change you've made, because it's been like 9 months. And like you said, we've slowly kind of brought the weight down. But what that's allowed us to do is actually build strength as well. And you've got fitter in the process. I know we've been doing some explosive work. You've also got a lot more muscle and strength in the gym and improved on those throughout the process. Of course, I know there are some hard days on a diet there. It's not always fun, but you get through it. And I think doing that kind of consistently is great. But what I've seen is not just that transformational change in your physique, but the energy levels that you bring to the calls. And like you said, that has had an impact on your startup and on business as well, because you've got better clarity of thought, right? Like your willpower is probably higher, you've got more drive. And I guess these are the reasons as to, getting a great body is really good, but like the stuff that really changes the game is actually those mental benefits, right? Those cognitive benefits that you get each day when you're performing, managing employees, trying to build a business, those kinds of things.
Absolutely. 100%. I think the mental clarity of thought and just in general, the mental drive and willpower has been through the roof, and not in an artificial way, but in a very sustainable, natural way. I think I want to emphasize that, right? Lots of folks out there who can promise you these artificial solutions and these sorts of things. But frankly, like I said, like you can do Oliver's program, you can do any program. If you're not personally motivated on your own accord and you're not actually making it happen on your own and doing it, the right way, you're not going to get any results. So I think for me, for sure, the mental is really 99% of it all. And I think for anyone, right, it's really if you can master your mind and you can master your discipline, you can master the world. So it's been a really great process learning how to do that. And again, I'm still obviously all working on it. We're always working on that process, but it's been phenomenal so far. So I couldn't be more pleased with the program.
That's amazing, man. And for people that may be considering, or they might be on the fence, they're watching this and they're like, I'm not quite sure whether to join. Like, what kind of words would you give them? I mean, it can be positive. It doesn't have to be, all good. I mean, sorry, it can be kind of neutral or negative. But what would your advice be to someone that's maybe on the fence?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest, I was on the fence, right? We are on the fence when it comes to for a program, right? I mean, especially, I tend to be more of a frugal guy. So I'm like, look, is it worth it? For me, and this is just a very real take and a very transparent take, I said, look, right now, as I'm living a very fast-paced lifestyle. I don't have neither the expertise from a nutrition standpoint, as I mentioned, but also I really I'm starting to kind of not prioritize the accountability piece as much for my fitness. And I actually did a sort of simple calculation in my head. I said, look, if I'm spending this much money on a program and I don't do it, I personally could not live with myself for literally not doing a program that I just blew a bunch of money on. So for me, that kind of like, maybe it's a pride thing, maybe it is an accountability thing. But for me, I said, look, if I'm going to put a personal investment, if I'm actually going to put my money where my mouth is behind a goal, I'm going to motivate myself to get it done. That for me was a driver, and said like, look, and it was someone who I genuinely trusted and someone who I knew would do me right. From, after the fact, when I had initially spent money on the program and then I'd actually begun, what I ended up realizing was that it was a good decision, not just for that accountability piece where like, look, if I put the money down, I'm required to do it on my own kind of, on my own pride, but more importantly, I saw like a mentor and a friend who actually would coach me through this process and essentially be like an advisor for me for my fitness. And I would say that the number one thing that really justified it for me, just for anyone who's listening, was that, the best investment you can make is in yourself, right? A lot of, I think Warren Buffett famously said this. And for me, I realized that in order for me to be at my peak performance, I have to be prioritizing my health and obviously my religion and my mind, right? And so, the latter two were already doing pretty well. And so I said that former piece, the fitness, was something that I really could be doing better on. And I said, if I'm going to be investing money on anything, buying clothes, it could be getting food, it could be some other, thing. The most important thing I could be spending my money on is my fitness. And for me, that was really what allowed me to say, like, look, if I'm going to be spending my time and my money, it should be towards my health. And that's what got me over the line. So hopefully that kind of helps for anyone who's on the fence about it. I know I was, but these sort of two principles were definitely the things that got me over the line. And again, allowed me to live a much better lifestyle than I was before.
Yeah, I love that, man. No, that's amazing. And for like the future then, so I know we can actually continuing to work together until the new year as well, and we've got some plans. So what are the plans now with your physique, man?
Yeah, it's a great, it's been a great time. So again, it's been, down. I've been looking a lot leaner. I'm about to finish up my sort of, cutting journey, if you will. And really just focus on getting as lean as I can. So I'm pretty much very close to the end. From there, I'm going to be focusing on a very sustainable lean bulk. I love how Oliver is also super fully aligned. We're not going to be dirty bulking and gaining a bunch of fat, but really taking a sustainable approach for me to gain muscle without obviously gaining a ton of fat, because then we're going to just reverse all the progress we just put in so much work to undo. So that's going to be the plan, right? Just really focusing on a lean bulk, gaining muscle sustainably, and of course continuing to learn also from just like a process perspective, how can I actually increase the portion sizes sustainably and manage your bulk properly. So it's just as much of a physical transformation as much as it is a learning process for me, because I can actually learn how does my body work and what are the kinds of permutations in nutrition, because it's different for everybody. But for me, what works for me. So I'm really excited to pursue that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Amazing. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. We can round off, but before we do, Neetish, is there anything else you want to finish with or anything at all?
No, I mean, just I think the last thing I'll say is, again, right, like out of all the folks I've worked with, I would say Oliver is definitely the best, right? And for me, I would highly recommend working with Oliver and just in general prioritizing your fitness, because if you are a very busy, active entrepreneur or someone who is in a high, a fast-paced industry like technology, it makes sense to be prioritizing your fitness because that's where it all comes from. So highly recommend working with Oliver. I'm a big fan of him, and yeah, check it out. And again, also happy to chat with anyone if they're on the fence well. But yeah, hope you guys are making a great decision. And yeah, best of luck to you guys.
Amazing, Neetish. Well, I really appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad we've got to become friends through this process as well, which is awesome. So it's great, and yeah, wish you the best with the continued success with the business and all that kind of thing, man. And we're going to crush these goals over the next few months, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
100%. Let's do it.
Great, cool. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.